Welcome everyone, Ringcast Boxing, joined with Tom Loeffler from K2 Promotions. Tom, welcome to the UK.
Thank you. It's great to be here. It's
lovely to have you here.
Turned out to be a terrific fight week.
It is buzzing. Everyone is looking forward to the fight on Saturday. Golovkin looks in fantastic shape. How easy was this fight to make? I know obviously you had issues with Eubank, but with Kel stepping up to the plate, was it literally a case of, yeah, Kel, sign it, and it was done?
Look, it wasn't just issues with Eubank. It was issues with Canelo, it was issues with Blazer Saunders, and then issues with Eubank. So you can't really single out one person. But when Eddie Hearn said he was having issues getting Eubank to sign the contract, Kel called up Kell Brook and said within 2 hours he spoke with the Kel and his trainer, and they agreed to the fight. 2 days later, we literally changed the names on the contract from Eubank Jr. to Kell Brook, and he signed the contract, and we announced the fight 2 days later.
As much as everyone wants to see this fight, I think every single boxing fan on the planet wants to see Canelo Triple G. Can you shed us some light, away from what may be said in mainstream media and everything? If you were to put, go on blast now. Feel free to go on blast. Why is that fight not happening? We all want to see it.
Look, we wanted to make that fight happen as quickly as possible. If we could have made that fight from the Triple G side last May, when Canelo chose to fight Amir Khan, we would have made that fight. He was mandated by the WBC to fight. He chose to move down. He's fighting Liam Smith. Look, if Canelo, it's not an easy fight against Liam Smith at 154 pounds. So if Gennady's not victorious against Kell Brook, if Canelo hasn't missed up against Liam Smith, a lot of the plans go out the window. It's clearly the biggest fight in boxing, but there's a lot. It seems like there's a lot that needs to happen before that fight actually can happen, because Golden Boy's talking about potentially September 2017. We have a great relationship with Golden Boy. It's just a matter of trying to put that fight together, and certainly, like Eddie said, from our side, it's not hard to make a deal. If there's a fighter that actually wants to fight Triple G, we'll figure out a way to make that fight happen.
Do you think it's more Canelo not wanting to take the fight, or do you think it's more down to Golden Boy?
It's hard to say. I can't speak for their side. That's a question. It's a question for Canelo. It's a question for Golden Boy. But
they were quite vocal after the Khan fight.
That's when I thought, first I had a lot of doubts if the fight would happen, and then when Canelo actually called Gennady in the ring, and then, he didn't show any fear at all, and we have respect for Canelo. It's just, that's when I thought the fight could happen in September, and clearly it's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, but, that's really something you have to ask on their side and just figure out, because we're ready. I know Gennady's certainly ready, but he's focused on Kell Brook, and then if the other fights can happen in the future, that's my job to make them happen.
It's well documented that Triple G has been ducked in his division. I don't want to say without naming names, because I want you to name names.
There's a long list of names.
Not
just recent names.
Other high-profile names, then. Which fight was closest to being made out of the list that has?
Honestly, I thought Eubank was going to get. I thought that fight was going to get made. We were in discussions for over 3 weeks, almost a month. You can tell if a fighter doesn't really want to fight, or the promoter doesn't want to make the fight happen. It's just, it's the way you interact, it's the way you negotiate. And with Eddie, we had everything signed for the Eubank fight. So I thought that fight was going to happen. That would be the closest fight. We've never really come that close to other fights. They were, we were talking about maybe a Carl Froch fight in the past, or other fights, but it just it didn't really get very far. With the Eubanks, we really went to the 11th hour, and then he said he couldn't work out the final details with them.
If there was one fighter, active fighter, recently retired, we'll put Carl Froch in there as well, to cement Triple G's legacy, who would you want him to fight if you had one fight left?
Abel always wanted to fight Chavez Jr. We talked about that fight 2 years ago, but I still think the Canelo fight is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. That's a fight I'd personally like to
bigger than
see.
Ward potentially as well?
Ward has a big task in front of him to fight Kovalev. Whoever wins that fight clearly is right there. If Sergey can beat Ward, it's clearly the best fighter that he's fought. and Andre moving up and fighting one of the biggest punchers also in boxing is a monumental task for him. So we have a lot of respect for those guys.
The Ward fight I wanted to just touch on. There were talks recently over the last couple of years about the potential Ward Triple G fight.
There was a lot of back and forth on that one. Yeah.
Never really materialised. Is it something that you would look to progress with further if Ward was to beat Kovalev?
Oh, absolutely. That's a fight you really don't have to promote. There was so much back and forth, a lot of bad blood. I think it turned into that. I mean, Andre's a gold medalist. He's an undefeated fighter, and that would be a natural promotion. It's just the only thing that was disappointing the way that whole thing evolved was he really publicized the fact that he made an offer and Triple G turned down the fight. And I mean, it's not realistic when we just announced the David Lemieux fight on pay-per-view in Madison Square Garden. He's the mandatory challenger for the winner of Cotto Canelo. And I told Rock Nation that, look, if Gennady's after he fights those fights, and at that time Andy Lee was a WBO champion, he wanted to unify with Andy Lee, and certainly at that point that he would have fought Andre Ward. And so I think if that fight does happen down the road, that's going to be a fight that doesn't need any promotion at all, because there's going to be fireworks between both guys. But look, if Andre doesn't beat Kovalev, if Gennady doesn't beat Kell Brook, all of a sudden, you start, you're not at the same level. But at the same time, I mean, those are great fights. They're both in great fights. Canelo fights a week later. Daniel Jacobs fights a day before Gennady. So I think this is really opening up a lot of doors for Gennady, and we'll see how the future unfolds.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time, Tom. Much appreciated.